I'm Dr Nick Lund. I work at the Cheshire faculty and I'm one of the Senior Learning Teaching Fellows, but I also teach in psychology. What we've been doing for the past 12 years now is, as our final assessment in psychology, to have a conference. We hold the conference at the end of the student's course. So after all the final exams, the week after the final exams, we have a conference. And so all the students do a project, and at the conference what they do is to present their findings, conclusions and so on. We organise a conference in the same way that you would have any other conference, so that a national or international conference. We try to mimic that as much as possible. It tends to be opened by the Dean. The head of the department also has a talk to the students. We have keynote speakers in. Typically alumni who have been successful, so that last year we had a clinical psychologist come in who was one of our alumni. So it's set out like that, and then we have a number of different strands going on in the same way that you might have a national or international conference. And the students have to present for 10 minutes and there's 5 minutes for questions. What we do is to make this quite a substantial part of their marks for their project work. So it's not just something which is added on, it's actually quite a big part. I think it's 25% this year of their marks for the project. So we have two ways of assessing the project really. We have the written report and then we have the conference and the presentation and the questions after it. And I think the questions after it are often very challenging. More often challenging questions from fellow students than it is from the staff, I must admit. But it is a challenging experience for them. But what we've found from some research is that there are a number of different elements to it. Before the project, before the presentations and the conference, students are very, very nervous. All of them, even the students that are normally very confident, are very nervous by the idea of presenting their work to the rest of their peers and to all the psychology staff. Post-conference, they think it's one of the best assessments they do. I think there's two reasons for that. One is that it's the final thing they do in psychology, capstone assessment if you like, which students then, it becomes part of their social calendar. It's the last thing they do. They all meet each other, they all watch each other's work and listen to each other's findings and so on. And also, I think it's the stage at which students suddenly feel that they are real psychologists. They are the experts of the day. When they present their work, they've had a supervisor and the supervisor would guide them, but they've become the expert in their particular narrow field they're looking at that moment. And they recognise that both in themselves and in their fellow students, which suddenly I think they realise that it's not them and us, but it's part of a learning community. And I think we try to do that all the way through, but I think that's where it really gels, and students realise that they are good at psychology, and each of their peers is good at psychology. So at the conference, each presentation is assessed by 2 members of staff. We try to have 3 members of staff at least in each of the presentation rooms, lecture theatres, one of them chairing and 2 of them assessing, so that we've got a record of the marks and some moderation going on at the same time, so that students are fairly assessed in the presentation work they do. It's interesting as well that some students excel at the conference who don't excel at their written reports. So that what we're doing, I suppose, is to give students a different way of showing their knowledge and understanding of their project rather than written reports system. And for many careers, I suppose that the presentation of findings or presentation of work that you've done will be more relevant than written reports. It's something which you'll end up doing more often. And so we think that what we do is extend our students' skills of analysis and evaluation in that they do it verbally as well as in the written form. So we've been doing it for 12 years, and I've reported this a couple of times now at conferences. I think the last time was at the International Congress of Psychology at Stockholm. And what we've found is that other people are very interested in this, and we're hoping that we might be able to get some sort of international conference going. It's also been taken up by the rest of the departments. It's been seen as a successful model and works so well for so long now that all students who are doing dissertations or projects in the department in other subjects, such as abuse and childhood and youth and so on, are now adopting this as a model, and it's being rolled out across the department this year. So we're hoping now that we'll have a larger conference going on for the whole department rather than just for the psychology students within interdisciplinary studies.
You can find more films and podcasts on our website. Go to celt.mmu.ac.uk/good practice. Thanks for watching.